Texans heading to the polls in just a few hours, where they will choose between incumbent Senator John Cornyn and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton in the state's GOP Senate runoff.
What has John accomplished that's good for the state of Texas or the country? We fought Trump on the border wall.
I've worked with the president a long time, and I want him to be successful. I'm proud of my voting record, supporting him 99.3% of the time. But obviously, the president is entitled to make his pick. But I tell you, I've represented Texans a long time, and I know Texans are a pretty independent breed, and people will be making their own choices.
U.S. Senate candidate for North Carolina and former RNC chairman Michael Whatley joins me now. Michael, good morning. It's great to see you. So it all comes down to today on the Republican side in Texas. So, the interesting thing about this is that both of these candidates have diametrically opposed strengths and weaknesses. So which one of these two pull it off?
Well, we'll see what the results are going to be today. The latest polling certainly has Paxton with a bit of a lead. I think the key, though, is that either one of these candidates is going to beat James Tallarico. I mean, the fact is that Texas is going to have a Republican senator at the end of the day, and that really matters because we need to keep the Senate in Republican hands. Well,
let's listen to the aforementioned James Tallarico and some of the past comments that he has made.
He recognizes that there are many more than two biological sexes. In fact, there are six.
God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
Our southern border should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out front and a lock on the door.
So you just mentioned that whoever wins the Republican primary will ultimately beat James Tallarico, although polling does show that Tallarico is pretty tight when it comes to Ken Paxton in particular. So dive into your thoughts a little bit further on that and how winnable James Tallarico is in the state of Texas.
Well, look, I think the Republicans will hold Texas because at the end of the day, the Texas voters want a strong economy. They want a strong border. They want safe communities, and they want America to be strong and respected again around the world. That is the Republican platform. It's certainly what I'm running on in North Carolina. And I think that James Tallarico has made it very clear that he, along with all the rest of the Democratic leadership, whether it's Zoran Mamdani or AOC or my opponent, Roy Cooper, they are going to fight for criminals. They're going to fight for illegal aliens. They're going to fight for men and women's sports. They're not going to fight for the people of America.
OK, so from 2026 to 2028 and staying on the Democratic side of the aisle, there's an Axios piece out right now titled Dems Eyeing 2028 Bids Court Elizabeth Warren. The piece goes on to say Warren's working to put her stamp on the 2028 Democratic primary. She met privately with Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear for tea this month and has a texting relationship with California Governor Gavin Newsom. Warren also has been talking with former Biden and Obama officials about how a future Democratic president could reshape the federal government in light of Trump's DOGE cuts. Another piece about AOC says that AOC is taking more steps towards a 2028 run for president. And those steps, Michael, would be that she just announced that she's launching a national tour. So putting those two headlines together, it seems like it's not a good day if you're a centrist Democrat.
No, not at all. And the fact is that there really are no centrist Democrats anymore because they're being driven out of the party. The fact is that party is going further and further and further to the left. It's a woke mob at this point in time. And you see it. You see it in the leadership of that party. And every single candidate is bowing to that wing of the party. I'll mention again my opponent, Roy Cooper, who is right there in the middle of fighting for criminals, fighting for illegal aliens, fighting for men who want to play in girls' sports. This is not where mainstream North Carolina or mainstream America is. And yet that's where the Democrats really want to go. That's where the energy of the Democratic Party base is. In the last election cycle, we described it as common sense versus crazy. I think that's going to be the same in 2026, and I think ultimately it could be the same in 2028.
Yeah, and a lot of Democrats agree that the party needs new leadership, but no one can really decide on who that leader is. Posing that question to you, who do you think is the leader of the Democrat Party right now?
Well, right now, I think you've got several people who are up there in front, and you've got Chuck Schumer, you've got Bernie Sanders, you've got Elizabeth Warren, who may actually be the more reasonable, rational wing of the Democratic Party these days. But, you look at James Tallarico, who's carrying the banner. You look at Zoran Mamdani. You look at AOC. And the fact is that the Democrats are just lurching further and further to the left. And they're getting away from mainstream, and they're getting away from, the rational voters who really want a strong economy. They want secure borders, and they want to know that America is going to be strong around the world and respected again.
It's a whole new world in 2026, and 2028 is just around the corner. Michael Whatley, we thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it, as always.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.